Well, hello there. How are you? Good. And your name? All right. Nice to meet you. So, I'm Professor O, and this is my laboratory. Now, my laboratory is not like every other laboratory. The type of experiments, type of work I do, it's a bit abstract, for lack of a better term. But, no matter what, I always get the job done. Anyways, what seems to be the issue today? Trouble sleeping. I understand. I've had that once or twice, and I have the perfect tonic for that issue. But before we get into all of that, I'm going to need you to sign a couple consent forms so that we aren't held liable for anything that may happen while you're taking the tonic. So, just signed here. Sign here. And here. And here. As well as here. Great. That's all taken care of. Now, your issue with sleep. Why are you having this issue? Is it restlessness? Is it nightmares? Is it just a lot on your mind? What could it possibly be? I understand. So, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm just going to use my penknife just to get a look at what's going on in your eyes. And then after that, I'm going to try to get as much of an assessment of what's going on with you as possible with other tools that I may have. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to offer you at least one of these tonics to help you with your issue, right? So, I want you to look at me. I'm just going to take a look right here. All right. Just put my hand right here for a minute. Good. Great. Getting used to the mask. Anyways, continue looking at me. Use another light. Put my hand right here. Can you blink for me, please? Yes, blink. Good. Look at me. Good. Right. Can you open up for me? Open up wide. Good. All right. Let me just jot down a few notes. Have you been having nightmares? It's more or less lack of sleep. I understand. I do have a tonic for nightmares in case you are having them, but if that's not the issue, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. Your diet. How have you been eating? Is it you've been eating well? You've been eating healthy? And what are your daily habits like? Like, what do you do for work? What do you do for leisure activities? Oh, okay. And do you have any other responsibilities that may stress you out in certain situations? Right. Another question. Have you had any traumatic events, anything that may have caused a sense of PTSD or any sort of, you know, issue regarding something that may have happened to you in the past, something that may have affected you deeply? Because that could be an issue there. We had one patient come in. He had just gone through a car accident, a very gruesome one. He survived, but the damage it left on his cranium wasn't that great. He was very, very anxious. But that's why we're here. We're here to get rid of those issues. Like I said, my work is a bit unorthodox, but it always works. I haven't had no complaints, and just to make you feel safe, those consent forms you signed, don't worry, I have had no issues with that as well. So, one more question. Your work. Would you say it's a low pressure job, high pressure job, or somewhere in the middle? Interesting. I tend to have more of a low pressure job. It can be high pressure sometimes, but usually low pressure. Anyways. So, now is the time I give you a few selections of tonics that I have on hand, which are right behind me. And whatever fits your fancy, that's the one you'll choose. But before we get started with that, I just want to ask you another question. How is your love life? Okay? Now, let's say your love life wasn't doing so great. I have a very, very strong love tonic. Right here. Now, the thing about this love tonic is that if you use too much, it can be very, very dangerous. I had a guy who came in last week about a girl who he was in love with. Beautiful young lady, saw the picture. And well, he was desperate. She was in love with another man, about to be married, all that good stuff. And he just couldn't let it go. So what he did is he gave her a bit of the love tonic. Now I told him, you just need 1 drop in the drink. Just one drop. Any more, it will get nasty. And guess what he did? He put 2, not 1, 2 drops. Now she's stalking him, and he can't do anything about it. When I tell you to do 1 drop, do 1. Don't go against my words. But since you aren't needing such a tonic, you don't have to worry about that. The next tonic I want to show you is good for if you're having stressful episodes. Usually when people can't sleep, they're dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. It usually keeps them up all night. If you're having issues with that, I recommend this beautiful tonic right here. It works like a charm and usually takes effect within about 20 or so minutes. So you don't have to sit there waiting for it to happen. If you're trying to get to sleep, you want to get to sleep as fast as possible, right? Some of these sleeping aids tend to take a little while to work, but mine take a very, very swift amount of time. That is if you're stressed. If you're dealing with nightmares, this is the perfect tonic for nightmares. What it does is it turns any sort of nightmare that you may have at the moment into a pleasant dream by giving you the control. Yes, lucid dreaming. But you can turn any nightmare, anything you're afraid of, into something pleasant. That way you can get the sleep you need without the worries of things going terrible. I had a young lady who kept dreaming that she was being chased by this creature. One drop of this, and she turned that creature into a clown. I don't know how that was a more pleasant experience, but everybody's different. Now, this tonic right here. This tonic right here may be exactly what you need. This tonic has the power to knock you out instantly. Now, some people just are insomniacs. It's just a part of their chemical makeup. And they need something to work really fast. And judging by what you've told me, you just might be a simple insomniac. No worries. This tonic right here, one drop, will have you out like this. And you won't have to worry about lack of sleep ever again. So, how does that sound? You want to hear one more selection? That's just fine with me. This tonic is for high pressure work. Some of us have jobs that have us very pressured. For instance, if you're a surgeon, or if you work in the business world, CEO, and you are constantly on call or constantly flying or traveling or whatever have you, and you're always stressed, well, I recommend this baby right here. It takes the stress away, allows you to sleep, but here's the kicker. It doesn't stop you from fulfilling your duties. It's light sleep, but it does allow you to sleep. So let's say you're a surgeon and you need a bit of sleep before you go back on call. This is perfect. It doesn't knock you out so much to where you aren't able to get up, but it's enough to get you the rest you need. Let's say you need a nap for about an hour or 30 minutes. It's the perfect tonic for just that. Now, again, one drop is usually enough. Any more can be very dangerous. Now that you have seen my collection of tonics, have you made a decision on which tonic would suit your needs? Perfect. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll make a nice bottle just for you to take home. And like I said, you only need one drop. Any more, and it can be very dangerous. Alright? Thank you so much for coming and visiting me. I really do appreciate your business as well as your company. It does get lonely in this laboratory, but like I said, I love my work. I'm dedicated to my work, and even though it's unorthodox, it's something I take pleasure in. So, let me get that wrapped up for you. Thank you so much for everything, and I'll see you in the front.